Here we are.
Yeah, finally. Why don't you go ahead and kick that intro? We'll get this show on the road.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see. Feeling good. Everybody got some people joining in. Let's see here.
Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of To the Top Talk, brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar. To the Top Talk is the original and longest-running Southern Miss podcast in the market. We're recording this episode on
June the 3rd.
From beautiful Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Here, as always, with your break from the High Resource 5 propaganda to talk a little Southern Miss athletics. I'm your host, Jason Bailey. Joining me now, the one and only Patrick Lowry.
Hey, feeling good. It's gonna be a go tonight.
Good show lined up.
Yeah.
You know, we a little bit late start. We were going to record with our guest off air and put that out as a separate pod tomorrow, kind of like we did with Jake. But I had some serious audio difficulties, and I'm still having them. So
Hey,
I just gotta hope it all works out.
You sound good.
Okay, yeah, it's a little hard for me to hear in my ear, but we'll get through it. Today's episode is, of course, brought to you by Mugshots in Hattiesburg, the South's premier sports grill and bar. And it all started right here in Hattiesburg 20 years ago. At Mugshots, they're always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily. And with 18 specialty burgers, they've got you covered. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. So, you know, what happened since the last time we recorded? I mean, everybody knows, right? We went to Knoxville for the regional, kind of got screwed with that number one, going to the number one overall national seed. Had to be some sort of payback from last year.
Yep.
Going to Auburn and then with the Applebee's thing and the whole deal. But anyway, it was a pretty solid showing up there, I would think. I got out and about in the area watching games. I went to Mugshots for a game. I went to 4th Street Bar for a game. Went to Keg for a game. So got out and saw a lot of people. It was really fun. All the restaurants and bars around here really participated well. And also, To the Top Talk was officially nominated and placed on the ballot for the Best of the Pine Belt 2024 Best Podcast.
Yeah, they did.
Where's my applause?
Oh man,
there it goes. So voting begins on July 1st and goes through July 21st. So I know that's like a month from now. We'll keep reminding you.
Mm-hmm.
You can vote once for your favorites every 24 hours. So when you go to the Best of the Pine Belt, you click on the lifestyle section and just pause, scroll down to Best Podcast, and there we are. It's like 5 of us, but there was like 20 something nominated. So whoever you were that went out and nominated us several times, thank you very much. I did it a few times.
Yeah.
I know when it first started off, I made it part of my, like 8 years ago, I was like, every day I was waking up and this first thing I did was nominate. And then I just forgot.
Slowly.
And then I did it a few times and I was like, you know what? We probably won't even receive an actual nomination, but we did. So that's good. But we do have 2 incredible guests. Yep. And they are backstage right now. Let's go ahead and get to those guys. They're the real star of the show here.
No doubt.
They are brothers. We teased it earlier on social, but they are brothers that both played at Southern Miss, both played middle infield at Southern Miss, as a matter of fact. First of which, born September 21st, 1977. That's my kind of age. Awesome. Played 3 seasons at Northwestern State, then came to Southern Miss and was second team all CUSA selection. Hitting .333, 12 doubles, 1 triple, 8 homers, 35 RBIs, and 18 stolen bases. Killed it his first 3 years at Northwestern State. He was newcomer of the year, all Southland Conference. Graduated from Southern Miss in 2000, played 5 years of pro ball. Coached at Southern Miss. He was the head coach at PRCC. Makes his home now in Hattiesburg. Josh Hoffpauir is joining us now.
There he is.
Coach, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing great.
Yeah.
And the other brother, born a little bit later, born in 1983, played at Southern Miss from 2002 to 2004, hit .348 for his career, .405 his junior season, had 22 homers and 57 doubles as a Golden Eagle. Drafted in the 6th round of the 2004 Major League Baseball draft, made his major league debut with the St. Louis Cardinals in 2009. Now the head baseball coach at PCS here in Hattiesburg. Welcome to the show, Jared Hoffpauir.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah.
You guys hear all of that intro that I gave?
That's pretty good.
That was good stuff. Yeah.
Because I usually mess them up. That's the deal. If there's anything wrong in there,
Playing
That's,
outfield and,
I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I played so long
They're
ago,
both
I don't know
pitchers,
if you
right?
were lying or not, to be honest with you.
that's
well,
awesome.
so what's up? How are things with both of you guys these days?
Life's good. I mean, we're both here in town now. Families are here in town, so we get to see each other and the kids quite often. By the way, shout out Dad's birthday today. My father's. I'm not going to tell you exactly how old he is, but his birthday today. He's an old baseball legend as well.
Right.
Awesome.
Jarrett, what about you? What's up?
Man, everything's good, man. Just finished our season a couple weeks ago and, kind of relaxing this summer a little bit, just chasing kids around on the weekend on the baseball fields and stuff. So kind of about it right now.
Awesome. And what I thought we would do is just get caught up on, like how you guys got to Southern Miss. So we've got a kind of a timeline here we're going to go through. And then after that, get into, what went down at the Knoxville Regional, your guys' thoughts on things like Coach Oz and just playing at the Pete and stuff like that. So First of all, Josh, I mean, I see you around, all the time, really. Most recently at the Keg and Barrel watching that regional game. But I didn't know this until you told me that day that you started off your career at Northwestern State. So 3 years there. How did that come about, and what was the reason behind leaving and coming to Southern Miss for your senior season?
You're getting tricky on me right out of the gate, right?
Oh,
yeah.
No softballs.
This is pre-NIL times, right? So
yeah,
it's a little tricky. But I will say this, just so y'all know, and shout out to Jarrett because Jarrett's obviously one of the best players to ever play at Southern Miss. He's the good brother, without a doubt. I think most people will agree with that. But I tell people all the time, Jason, is I'm the best recruit that Southern Miss ever had. Because if they didn't sign me, they don't get him.
There we go.
So, but now it's funny. It kind of came about John Cohen, who I know that's a name y'all are probably familiar with. Dave Van Horn originally signed at Northwestern, and John Cohen came in. Lane Burrows, who's now at Louisiana Tech, had come to Southern Miss with Corky at that time, and that was kind of, transfer. It wasn't transfer portal at that time per se, but Lane came here, and I had an opportunity to come here with him, and decided to come to Southern Miss, and obviously it was a life-changing decision. Great, it worked out, So, and then of course my brother ends up coming here a couple years later, which selfishly was, I thoroughly enjoyed that, watching him get to play and be a part of his career day to day as I was here in the off season and things like that. So we always lived together. We've been close for a long time. Matter of fact, now we live not far around the corner from each other and see each other quite often. So been blessed. Southern Miss has been good to our family.
Yeah, no doubt.
So Jared, obviously you didn't mess around and go anywhere else before coming to Hattiesburg. So, what outside of Josh, what else sold you on Southern Miss?
Coming out of high school, I had a couple of opportunities to visit some other schools, and I always just felt like coming up here on the weekends to watch him play. I just felt comfortable. Really, I wasn't even here, but just kind of felt like a family type atmosphere. And, the crowds were always tremendous, and just the energy there at Pete Taylor. And it's, it was an easy sell for me. It was, when I started coming here, I knew pretty much immediately that this is where I wanted to play. And, thank goodness Josh opened that door for me, and I got that opportunity. So it was good, man.
I want to get you guys' thoughts on, and we asked everybody this, and it's, we know about the atmosphere at the Pete, and it's really it's like on steroids these days. I mean, back when you guys were here, it was good. It was pretty good. It was better than most.
Yeah.
Now it's, like nationally elite, I think. So,
yeah.
I mean, what's that like out there? We sit in the Roost a lot. Josh, I've seen you out in the Roost a lot. It's awesome. But we're kind of nowhere near the action, but I feel like we still kind of have an impact a little bit. Could you hear any of that? Did the crowds at the Pete help you in any way, or did it hurt the other team, or like just what's that like?
I mean, I think for me, I think especially now, I love the atmosphere there simply because I think these bigger stadiums are almost becoming like minor leagueish, where it's not much of the the college rah rah and the blue collar anymore. I think Southern Miss kind of still keeps that in perspective and keeps the roots out there and the standing room only stuff and things like that. And I think that's more collegey, as opposed to the minor league side where some of these bigger schools are going to. And, that's just me personally. I don't know that for sure as far as as the playing, the players' take on it. But, I mean, yeah, to answer your question, absolutely. You could hear it. You could feel the energy and you could almost tell when things were turning our way as Eagles. And,
Right.
It's, I mean, it's awesome. I still think it's that way today.
No doubt.
It is.
So
We strong
ahead,
home field advantage at Southern Miss. I don't think there's any question there, and I think it's the benefit to the fans too. I mean, they've done a really good job of buying into the program and coming out and being supportive and showing up and being loud and truthfully a lot of times wanting to be obnoxious on purpose. Which does create some
Guilty.
Yeah. We all do. Heck, I do it. I tell you, the best part now is I'm out of the game, obviously, and now I get to be a full fan. So I get to go out there and experience being a fan, and I can yell at umpires now, and no one can kick us out.
Right.
It's no ejections. We're fussing at anybody. So it's a big home field advantage. I think most players and coaches would agree with that when they come to Southern Miss.
I'd like to remind everybody that's listening right now, if you want to, or actually, Pilo, if you can go ahead and do, you can do this better than I can. Remind them how they can participate in this, whether it's sending a comment in or actually calling in.
Yeah, so we're seeing the numbers steadily grow as we're going with live, but we do want to remind everybody you can comment on. Looks like the majority of the people are on Twitter, so you can make a comment on there. That will throw it up, and we can see it. We can show it to Jarrett and Josh. And they can answer if you have a question for them, or if you actually want to speak on the podcast and let us hear your voice or have anything to say. And we're going to get to the Knoxville Regional and all of that too, so I'm sure more people will want to join when that happens. You can go to the Twitter space and join that, and then you can request to go live, and we'll throw you on. So you have a couple of options if you're brave enough. So yeah, let us know.
Very good. Of course, these are the brothers Hoffpauir joining us. Both played at Southern Miss and both played professionally. So let's talk about that for a second. I mean, what you both played after college, playing pro ball, kind of what every kid dreams of, So you got to do it. You got to chase that dream for quite a while. Josh played 5 years. And made it all the way up to AA. Jarrett made it to the bigs. So can you guys reflect on that? And he just maybe Josh, we'll start with you. Like when did you get that call? Did you like what'd you do the first thing you did? Just jump on a plane and get out to where you had to go, and then all of a sudden you're a professional?
Pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of how it works. I mean, you get a call and they say, "Hey, you expected to be at the airport at X o'clock tomorrow," and you go jump on a plane and fly out, and they put you in a cab and you walk into a locker room and have stuff in your locker and fire it on and hope it fits and head to the field and start your pro career. It's a pretty quick, and I mean, you don't have a lot of time to think about it. And in professional sports are they're tricky. I mean, you may be in one place for 2 weeks and then look up and get sent up or down or whatever it may be, and pack a bag and head out for the next 3 months to somewhere else. I think Jarrett and I's careers are a little bit different. I was a little more of a nomad, where it's kind of traveling and traded and things like that, where Jarrett was with the team for a long period of time. But that just gives you an idea of both sides of kind of how it works. Some guys get in there and get an organization and continue to move up the ladder, and sometimes you got to get shuffled around to find out where you fit, but it's an interesting lifestyle. And I think that's, to me, when people ask about professional sports, I think what they don't understand about is, yes, it's every kid's dream to go play professional baseball. But it's as much of a lifestyle as it is anything else. You have to be able to accept the things that come with it, sleeping on buses and, living out of a bag for 6 and 8 months at a time, and never know where you're going to be tomorrow, and that's part of it. So, and the guys that can withstand that, they're the guys that can grind it out and make it a long way and let their talent eventually, hopefully, take them to the big leagues. The guys that can't do that, then that's the ones that usually have shorter careers.
How close is it to the movie Bull Durham?
I mean, lower levels. I mean, I guess there's
I mean, it depends on where you're at. Yeah,
there's some similarities in the lower levels. I think the more you climb, the kind of more, I guess, professional it gets, if that's the right word. But yeah, there's some things in those movies that, you know, with the bus rides and the things like that you kind of relate to for sure.
Yeah.
So Jared, you know, I mean, a lot of the same path as Josh there, as far as, you know, starting off and I guess rookie ball, low A, high A, but you eventually made it all the way to the major leagues.
Yeah.
That had to be awesome. I mean, what was it like the first time you walked in that stadium? Was that in St. Louis?
Yeah, in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know, pretty funny story. We were somewhere in Texas. I can't remember, on the 10th day of a 12-day road trip or something. So I've got all dirty clothes, you know, and just ready to get back to Memphis to get back home, get everything cleaned up, and kind of start our home series. And after the game that night, I got a phone call in my hotel room from Chris Maloney, who's actually from Jackson, who was my manager in Memphis. And you know, when they call you directly, it's either one of two things. It's either really good or really bad. At the time, I was playing pretty good, so I was like, you know, I hope this is a good conversation. And
Right.
he called me down to his room, and I walked in there, and you know, he immediately gave me a hug and told me congratulations. So I knew what was happening. So it was a cool moment, you know, other than the fact that, you know, now reality sets in of, okay, I got to get up in the morning. I got to be in St. Louis, and I've got no suit. I've got dirty clothes. I got to figure all this out, you know, and my baseball bag. And that's really all my other stuff is back home in Memphis. So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's pretty funny. I got kind of humbled pretty quick. I get off the plane in St. Louis, and, you know, you got the guy with the little name tag there with your name on it. I'm like, okay, this is pretty somebody, you know. And I get to the stadium. They drop me off at the back door. The game had already started. It was a day game, so the game was like in the third or fourth inning. And got humbled pretty quick. I get to the door, and the security guy's there. And I said, "Hey, I'm Jared Hoffpauir." He goes, "Who?" You know. So yeah, so I was like, "I'm the new guy, man. Let me in."
That's great.
Yeah, it was good stuff. But no, man, it was cool, man. It was a really cool moment. I got to kind of go in there by myself, nobody in the locker room, and you know, my jersey's hanging up with my name on it, and just my jersey. Everybody else is obviously on the field. So I kind of got to take that in pretty early. And it was neat, man. Get dressed and you walk through the tunnel, and kind of like a movie. You know, you come out of the tunnel and you got a professional game going on, and you got the uniform on, so it kind of gets real quick.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Probably a good thing I didn't play that game because you know, obviously the nerves were there and all that good stuff, but didn't get put in that game, which was fine, completely fine with me. I got to kind of get some nerves settle in overnight, and but yeah, man, it was cool. It was a really cool experience for me, and something I'll never forget for sure.
Now, big brother, you were on the other side of that. I'm sure. I mean, was Josh the first phone call you made, or was that to your dad, or I'm sure that had to go somewhere like that, right?
You know, to be honest with you, all that's a blur. I know it was my wife, my brother, and my mom and dad. I don't know what order it was in, but I pretty much told them, "Hey, pack your stuff up. You gotta get to St. Louis." And it was really cool. I think we were there that game. I got there during that day game. I think we played one more game. I didn't get to start the next day, and we were going to was it Cincinnati, Josh, I believe, next. Yeah. Going on a road trip to Cincinnati, and I hadn't got my first at bat or anything like that. So, man, Josh, my parents, my wife, and
load up, let's go.
Yeah, Cincinnati. And,
that's awesome.
I had cousins there, and it was all kind of stuff, man. And anyway, I ended up getting a chance to hit late in the game, and got a pinch hit single, and ultimately was the game winner. And my whole family got to see it, so it was cool. Yeah.
That was a cool moment. I'll speak his brother on the head. That, you know, obviously as a baseball family, I think it was, you know, when he made it to the big league, it was a big moment for all of us. then we were there. I mean, we were going no matter where the hell it was at. We were going to be there.
Sure.
So we can drive to Cincinnati, and he comes off the bench there late. And I'm gonna tell the story here because I know you're humble. You're not going to tell it, but so he comes in. Pujols was hitting in front of him. No. Yeah, behind him. He was sitting behind him. Bench hit. And his first at bat, thank goodness they threw him 4 straight balls and walked him.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, they were down 4 in like the 9th, and they threw him 4 straight balls. I to this day don't know why they threw him 4 straight balls because
it wasn't on purpose. I can tell you that.
It was not on purpose. It was not on purpose.
Yeah.
But they walk him to get to Pujols, and Pujols hits a grand slam to tie the game up in the 9th.
One of his big homers, 200th or 300th homer or whatever it was.
Yeah. So it was a pretty big moment. And so anyway, he ends up staying in because it went into extra innings. Mm-hmm. And comes back up again, and was it the 11th? I think it was
10th or 11th. It was
11th, whatever. And comes back up again, and it's almost a similar situation. Pujols is on deck, so they're going to pitch to him this time, obviously. They did, and he gets his first big league hit for the game-winning RBI. And as big brother, and I'm sure mom and dad and wives and everybody, I think we all had that moment. I personally got up and left because I was crying like a damn baby out there. You know what I'm saying? So my family's like, "Where the hell are you going?" I'm like, "I got to get out of here for a minute, guys."
I need a moment.
Anyway, it was a cool moment, proud for little brother, and it was a great moment.
Somebody's cutting onions.
Yeah.
That's great. And for everybody that's hanging on right now, we had a few audio issues.
Okay,
right there,
we're good now. We're good
with everybody. Okay. So if you're just now joining us, this is the Brothers Hoffpauir, and all of this is going out. You guys don't worry about it actually being recorded. I mean, worst case scenario, we put it on the pod tomorrow, but audio should be good now. So if you want to talk with the Brothers Hoffpauir, or
we actually have a request on the space. It's buckle up, guys. It's gonna be a good one.
Who is this?
It's James.
Okay. Yes, definitely buckle up. Sit back. I don't think this is a real person, but he calls in every week. So, James, if you're on the line, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Can you boys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
Man, first off, I got to say, Jared, Josh, it's an honor. I've been following USM baseball since '84.
That's great.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I know Mr. Jared Hoffpauir. Something interesting about him. Okay, boys.
Here we go.
He's the first. He is the man that has only served more ribbies than the McRib at McDonald's in a year.
This is true. James does his homework.
92.
92. You got it, man. You know.
Hey, it's gonna be a hard record to beat, James.
It's gonna be tough. I couldn't do it.
No. Best I can tell, ain't nobody gonna do it.
No, I've had 2 hip replacements. I'm down for the count.
Well, that's very good info, James. You got anything else?
I gotta run.
Well,
thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling in, James. We appreciate you.
All right, James. Yeah, thanks. That's James, everybody.
Fun fact. Good stuff.
Hey, our listeners do their homework, man.
He's spot on for sure. Believe me, they let me know. They always let me know when I mess up. That's like a field day, which happens a lot. But no, good thing. I mean, and if anybody else wants to call in and do like James did, just remember you have to do that on the Twitter Space, and you have to request that so Pilo can light you up. Mm-hmm. Say whatever you want to, but just remember, Pilo's got the hammer, right? So
I do.
If you get out of line or whatever, just for whatever reason, Pilo can just run you like that. So let's get back to this. So Josh, so you guys played pro ball, right? And then starts to get into the after pro ball sets
the real world,
right? Yeah, the real world. But you didn't leave far from baseball, right? You came back to Southern Miss to coach and work with the infielders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then was coaching always in your plan? I mean, you mentioned about your dad, and I know he's a legendary coach in the state of Louisiana. Mm-hmm. But was coaching kind of always in the back of your mind?
And I think Jarrett and I are a little bit different on that aspect. I think growing up young, I always anticipated if I didn't make it as a player, I was going to get into coaching. and that was kind of my dream growing up. And was blessed to have that opportunity when I got done playing. Coach Palmer brought me back and gave me a chance to get into the college game, and moved forward. Ended up at Pearl River, and enjoyed it. I mean, I had 13 years in the college game, and it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, and don't have any regrets at all. Probably been out. I think this might be 10 years out now. I think if it's not, it's pretty close. Maybe nine or 10. But life throws you curveballs sometimes, and sometimes you swing over the top of it, and sometimes you hit it on the barrel. So been out of the game. I've enjoyed it. Now I get to live through my brother, so that's always fun. I'm watching him. He obviously they had a great year this year over at PCS and overcame some obstacles and ended up in a position to have a chance to win a state championship, which was good for them. So I'm getting a chance to now sit back and be a fan of Southern Miss and watch my brother still do it. So I'm enjoying the other side of it now. And especially get to watch him with the headaches, just like after the prep game 3, he comes home. Well, now he's the one that's, I know how he feels. I don't feel that way.
Right. So Jared, obviously, for our listeners that don't know, coaching now at PCS in Hattiesburg, and you also brought another former Golden Eagle and major leaguer on board in Scott Copeland. So talk a little bit about this season and kind of what's it like coaching high school kids these days?
Yeah, man, it's I enjoy it. I really do. The kids are fantastic, and I got a really good staff. And it's a lot of fun. It's you talk about that thing about is it really work? Are you going to work every day? And for me, it doesn't feel that way. I mean, I enjoy it. I've been at baseball field since I was 9 years old, and I get to go there every single day and try to teach kids the game. And I enjoy it, man. I really do. Like I said, my staff's tremendous. We got great facilities. We got great kids, and it's a lot of fun.
No doubt. We did have another request, Jason, if we want to throw somebody on.
Okay, who is it?
It is JC Sanner. Does that ring a bell, anybody?
Yeah, it does. John Carter's Kelly's son. Played for Josh. John Carter, are you on the line?
Let's see. I think he's muted. Come off mute, and you should be good. There we go.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm here.
There he is. Got you, buddy. What's happening? How's Florida?
It's 105 degrees on a cool day, so
It's hot, huh?
other than that, we're doing good. I'm a little bit tanner since I got here, but yeah, it's great, man.
And for
It's
people
really,
that don't
really,
know, this is John Carter Center played for Coach Hoffpauir at PRCC. His dad is Kelly Center. Everybody knows Kelly. And you're now I hope I'm not getting this wrong. You're the pitching coach at a college of some sort. Where are you at?
I'm at College of Central Florida. The 2023 Division I Junior College National Champs.
Wow, look at
very,
you.
very good. Very, very good spot. Yeah, it was because I was at Davidson before, so a lot of people kind of think like, oh, he's at a Division I, went to junior college, but it's kind of viewed up as a step up in the coaching realm. So really, really fortunate to be here.
Well, yeah, man. Thanks for joining the space, and I'm guessing you have a question or two for your former coach.
Yeah, well, I mean, one off the top of the head is just who's the best pitcher you ever coached to ever grace the maroon and gold at Pearl River?
Answer carefully. Answer carefully.
Yeah. Would you say the best or my favorite?
There you go.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Because if you would have said I was the best, I would have been like, all right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
One of my favorites, without a doubt. John Carter Center, stud, had a great career. 2-year starter, weekend starter for us. Hey, he knows I'm not telling him anything I haven't told him before. Great kid, super pitcher. Like I thought he made some huge strides when he got to us and became a Division I arm. And that's a lot of times that's why kids go to junior college, is to have the opportunity. And John Carter, he took it on and handled it right and was professional. And I mean, it's pretty evident in how the success that he's having now and having a chance to move up in the college ranks of how professional he is and goes about doing it the right way. And glad to see you being successful, big man. You're doing well. proud of you.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, obviously took a lot from your book. I remember when I first got into coaching, you and I had breakfast, and I mean, you were one of the first people that I called and kind of leaned on. And I don't think, that's for nothing. I think obviously the impression that you left on me when I was at Pearl River has obviously lasted up to this point in my life. And so very thankful for you and your guidance. And, it's been very, very much appreciated. And Jason gave me lessons when I was like 8 years old. So
very first pitching lesson you ever got right here.
That explains it.
That's where.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I think, I remember the first tournament I played with Jason, Anthony Alford was on our team, and he was throwing like 85 as like a 10-year-old, and I thought it was the most incredible thing.
I'll tell you, and a quick thing I remember that tournament was in Gulfport, and we went down, and we didn't have enough players to field everything. So I just put Anthony in the outfield. I was like, just go play it.
Great coach.
Do whatever you got to do. And he was awesome. It was great. Yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, dude, thanks for hopping on.
Good here.
You got anything else before we go?
No, I'm just sitting back and relaxing and listening to you guys. So, it's good to catch up with you guys and stay in touch. So, just
hey, I tell you this: if you're at the junior college, next year Southern Miss is, we have one of the best pitching coaches in the world right here. So if you got any guys throwing like 97 to 99 and filling up the zone, we could use them.
Yeah,
we, Jason, we got a few guys that are 95 to 97, but they struggle with the part of throwing the ball over the plate, but we're getting there.
Well, just remember what I told you that very first lesson when you were like 7 years old, and there you go.
That's it. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. But if you guys see my dad, please keep him in line for me. I know it's a full-time job, and I'm kind of slacking, so just keep him in line for me, please.
You got it. All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Take care, Jason.
Later.
He was
great.
He was a good one.
Yeah, still.
He also has a future in any voiceover work. That voice is, man. He's
Did he just wake up? He had like morning voice.
He probably just woke up. He did.
Holy smokes!
He wasn't a big fan of morning workouts. I do know that, and he will admit to that.
Yeah. I believe it. Well, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, as far as like when you coached at Pearl River, JUCO baseball in the state of Mississippi is huge, right? It's big time. Talk about that. Talk about your time there and maybe what you might have taken with you from what you learned through the years, like from your dad, from Coach Palmer, and how do you apply that at Pearl River?
The experience down there was great. One thing about junior college is it's completely different than high school. It's completely different from Division I, completely different than professional. I think it's kind of that middle ground between college or Division I ball and high school ball. And some kids need that transition and need time to grow and get better, whether it be physically, mentally, or academically, or whatever it may be. I had no idea what I was walking into, to be completely honest with you. I had zero experience in junior college until I left Southern Miss and got involved in it. And I enjoyed it. I did. I think it's a great stepping stone for kids to come in and learn a little bit about baseball and learn how to play. The junior college in Mississippi is obviously it's very good. I mean, and really it's the next option for a lot of kids in Mississippi. We grew up in Louisiana where junior college really wasn't an option. It was kind of like you have 16 Division I's and, either you do that or you don't play. Over here is a little bit different. I mean, you got, the three majors, and then you have some other options at some different levels, whether it be NAIA or D2, and there's some options there. But the junior college route is a route that I think some kids look past and don't take advantage of it. So it's kind of a middle ground of having. Here's what I really felt about junior college was that it's difficult on those kids because you're dealing with a lot of 18, 19-year-old kids, right? Like they're just coming out of high school and they're going off to college. Well, if they come to a four-year university, they've got these 20, 21, 22-year-old kids to look up to that have been in the program and have done it. They've been with it for the last 3 or 4 years. Well, junior college doesn't have that. It's turnover every year. I mean, you're basically your leaders are the 19-year-olds. We all know where we were at as 19. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't know what leadership was. I mean,
I don't remember it, but yes.
Yeah, and they don't either. And that's okay. That's part of it. But my point is like so there's really they have to learn how to be professional. I think it's coaches' jobs to really teach them how to do things the right way, how to go about working, because our job is in junior college is to prepare them to have that opportunity to move on to the next level. What's it like to get up at 6 a.m. and work out every day, then have to go to class and then come back for practice for early work, and then you're on the bus to go on a game. You're learning how to grind out a season. And understand what it takes to make that transition, not only academically, physically, and mentally, to that 4-year level. So great experience for me. Kind of took a little bit of all the people I've been around. And I think any coach that's worth the shake has taken things from everyone he's been around and kind of put them into their own bowl and kind of, use them as they feel necessary on things you take from different people. So obviously our father was beneficial. We've been listening to him yell at us for 46 years now. He still coaches us, and it's okay. It's that's the fun of it. And so it's in our blood is where I'm going with it. And we've been blessed, Jarrett and I both, to have some great coaches along the way that we've been able to rub elbows with and benefit us in the coaching world. So and truth be told, I'm in the business world now, and I've used a lot of what I've learned in coaching and through kids and other coaches in the world that I live in now. So baseball's been good with all those.
Yeah. And speaking of coaching, coaches, like this is for both of y'all. Jared, you can go first. What do you know about Coach Oz and how would you rate the job he's done since he has, obviously the pitching coach and now transitioned into the head coach?
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously got to know him a little better since he's been here at Southern Miss. And to answer the second part of that question, I think he did a phenomenal job. I mean, considering, you're having to follow Coach Palmer and Coach Berry. I mean, not many people are just itching to follow that up with two really, really successful. And even before that, with Hill and the rest of it. I mean, it goes on. And, it's kind of it's a tricky step there. If things don't go really well, then you got a lot of people on your back. And, and I think a little early he was trying to figure out, his lineup and his staff and things like that. And obviously got his guys to buy into what he was doing and played really well when they needed to and finished the year really strong. And, I shot him a text the other day. I just told him, super proud for the team, but really super proud for him. I know he kind of, early on it was probably a little tough on him, but man, he handled it well, handled it super, professionally and got his guys to buy in and obviously had a ton of success. So yeah, I'm proud of him, man.
Hey, and before you jump in here, Josh, on that, I want to ask you, how does Oz stay so calm? I don't have that ability, even in 7 or 8 year old baseball, right? I got a yellow card last year in a soccer thing as a coach. That was possible. But so for instance, in the regional game the other day, when there was a balk, and basically Tennessee just gets a redo, taken out off the board, next pitch, homer.
Yeah.
Oz went and he said his piece to the home plate umpire, but I don't have that ability. I don't know if you guys have it. Like, how does Oz do that?
I'm not the guy to ask. I will say Jared is mild-mannered. He does a really good job of being under control and being professional at all times. I wasn't blessed with that.
I think
my father and I we struggle with those things.
He and Dad are a lot alike when it comes to that. I guess I could help with that answer. Like I think, with a full season, you play in whatever it is, they play 60 plus games a year. I think you kind of have to be, 60 plus games times 9 innings every single day you play, and it's a lot of innings. That's a lot of emotions. It's a lot of things going on, and believe it or not, your players, they kind of feed off of you. And, I think there's times to kind of get kind of get amped up and animated, to kind of help with your team to get them going. There's times to kind of keep things calm, and he does a pretty good job with that. And I think when the time comes when he needs to get fired up and really show some emotion, he will. But nice, like you said, man, he's super professional, and obviously filling out his first year at this level. It's a little bit different, and but no, you're right. I think in some instances it's I'm kind of like you, Jason. It very, very difficult to do so, but he seems to handle it a lot better than a lot of us.
Yeah, I don't know. I can definitely take some. I'm trying to take pointers. I don't know how. I would freak out in the moment. But let's talk and we were going to get to some funny questions here in a second, and then we'll talk about that super regional. And you guys have both, I think, hit on it just a little bit. But talk about the growth of this Southern Miss team this year. I know you're both busy with other things that you're doing, but just as a fan, and I'm using that coaching experience, like fitting these new pieces together, finding that chemistry. We had 7 new starters, right? Southern Miss had 7 new starters, probably lost the best pitcher in the history of the school. Your starting center fielder at the beginning of the year became your second baseman because your now center fielder was a pitcher only. Didn't know who was going to play first, played 3 different catchers. None of that screams 43 wins, does it? So as coaches, how do you how do you see that chemistry playing out? Like what do you do to make that happen as a coach?
Hell, I wish I had the answer personally. I'd still be coaching, but obviously, he did a really good job with the team this year. Let's not kid ourselves. You said it. You got really and truly outside of Wilkes in the lineup. Yes, you had a couple guys returning, Monaster and Pato, but they weren't like everyday guys for the last couple. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're coming off a big solidified guys that have been in the lineup day in and day out. The staff is completely remanaged, and they found a way to get in there and find a way. And I think that's what happened with him having take a little time to get the lineup right and figure out where guys want to be. And then we threw injuries in there as well. We had a ton of injuries this year. So hat off to Oz. He's done a great job. I think we're all happy to have him. 100% fully supportive. I'm looking forward to the future too, man. We got a chance to be pretty good. I don't even think, are we losing anybody outside of Wilkes next year? Which, that's going to be a tough loss, but
I think Colby Allen is draft eligible.
Yeah.
Other than that,
yeah,
it's kind of. I
think I
can't wait to watch this Davis Gillespie kid. Nick Monaster is probably my favorite player on the team, but
absolutely,
I like them all. I like Ozzy.
Fun team. The fun team. Seems like they got a lot of good going. So,
yeah.
Sure.
But not only Oz. They great staff, man. Creel and those guys. They know each other. They've been together. They go back to the Jones days when Oz was there and kicking my butt. That's why I'm mad at Oz because he's the reason I got fired. You know what I'm saying? Because I back in 6 years. But
that dang Oz.
No, it's great. It's good to see the program in the right direction. It's in good hands. We're glad to have him.
No doubt. Well, Pilo, let's get to this quick hitter section and talk about some Tennessee, the Knoxville Regional, and get out of here. We got a little music for the quick hitters. Great. Perfect. Well, do you want to lead it off? We got about 7 or 8 questions here, guys, and what we're going to do is we're just going to read them out. The answer doesn't have to be quick. It can be long, but I guess I'll tell you what, Jarrett, we'll start off with you on each one of these, and we'll just go straight down the list. There's 7 or 8 questions on here. Pilo, you want to start us off?
Yep. Better poker player between both of you?
Oh, him for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Who?
Yeah, go ahead, Jason.
Who wins in a foot race right now?
Ooh. Right now?
Right now, maybe not.
Right now, that's a Hoffpauir.
That's Hoffpauir. 2 pulled hammies. It's 2 pulled hammies. One by me and one by him. That's what that is.
I'm going to say him just for the simple fact he's always been the speed guy. Speed was never my thing, man. I was trying to hit doubles and trying to hit the ball.
Yeah, he was a real hitter. I had to hustle to get a couple. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Jason, go ahead with that next one.
If you're starting a beer league softball team right now, who's your first pick?
Me or him? I mean, tough one. I mean, that's a coin flip as well. I think
it's him. It's him 100%. It's him.
All right. And anybody that listens knows I'm going to ask a food question. Favorite Hattiesburg restaurant?
Mug shots, man. I got to go mug shots. Get my
man. My boys at mug shots.
That's my guys, man. That's
I
my
can go
guys.
with that. That's hey.
Love it.
There we go. The portal.
I might send a shout out to Sully's too.
Sully's
There we
too.
go.
I can't be
where you going, you know.
mug
Yeah,
shots.
so that's a great steak. It's a fantastic steak. So the portal, that's up for debate these days. I don't know where you guys come out on it, but portal, good or bad?
Terrible. It's a terrible thing. We could talk about it all night. It's not good. Can't believe it ever got, can't believe it ever got accepted and all that. It's just the bad thing. I don't know where it changes. I don't know how it changes. But I don't love where the game's going.
Let's see, Josh. One thing about Jarrett you wish you had.
That bat. That thing could hit, son. Hey, if I had that bat, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be chilling on the beach. With the
Still on
15-year
TV.
career.
Yeah. Jarrett, one thing about Josh that you wish you had.
We go baseball related. People ask us all the time about, our games and how they're similar, how they're different. And I think his speed and athleticism, I would probably take from him as far as the game of baseball goes.
Favorite player on this year's Southern Miss team?
Ooh, that's a good one. Josh, go ahead. Let me think. I'm a Monastery guy too, just because he's so versatile. I love the fact that he can play multiple positions and swings the bat well. And I'd probably say at the top would be him.
I could pick probably 5 or 6 of them just for the mere fact that there was times during the season I watch a lot of games and go to a lot of games. So there was times where I was mad at all of them, and then there was times that I loved them too. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on when you ask. Like right now, I'm proud of all of them. So
yeah.
I thought Russo really came along late in the year.
Love Russo.
That's my boy.
Hey, let me ask you all this: since you both played second base,
I
played.
That's debatable, but go ahead. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, well, and I played some middle infield as well. I played a lot of second base. I've never caught a ball that far into right field that Nick Monastery caught this past weekend. Have you guys ever been anywhere close to like a routine fly ball in right field, making an over the shoulder catch?
I know he hasn't.
If it was a fly ball, I was looking for somebody else to catch it. I was hoping Mark Maddox would catch it, or whoever was in right field, or Shepard, somebody. Yeah,
I say that every time there's a super high fly ball. I'm the guy that backs away. I'm like,
I was absolutely. Mark Maddox would tell you. I told him before every game, if it goes up, it's yours. I don't want it.
That was a great play. It was a really good play.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it was. Did it make top 10 on SportsCenter last night?
It should have.
Yeah,
oh gosh,
Elo,
I can't imagine.
watch that?
I didn't know, but it had.
If it didn't, then they were just robbed.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about Southern Miss, does the 40+ win streak continue next season?
Tradition says it does.
Yeah, I
8 in a row, right?
I think so.
One of us have 9.
Obviously everybody's got to stay healthy. I think that's the number one thing, and figure out the arm situation of keeping everybody healthy. And I don't see why not. You got everybody back. You're losing a bunch of home runs and RBIs with Wilkes, but it's just time for somebody else to step up, and we sure hope so. We've kind of gotten spoiled these last 20 years or so, and in the Eagle world, and we expect the high 30s and low 40s, and it's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of people think it is, and it's very, very difficult. You got to play good. You got to put on some streaks, long streaks, and we hope so.
No doubt. So last one, we usually ask this to a lot of our guests. So if you had to delete all the apps on your phone but 3, and these have to be downloaded, so like your text message and like your phone call, like doesn't count. If you had to delete all 3, like all of them but 3, what 3 are you keeping on your phone?
Let me pull my phone out. I'm a Facebook guy, unfortunately, man. Facebook's probably got to stay on there.
That's fair.
Oh man, not a big app guy. I mean, I've got a little hunting app I use all the time.
Hey.
You know, I can keep that one on there. And my third, that's ESPN app. I mean, that's got to go. And those three would probably be my ones I keep. That's not a big phone guy. He's not an app guy.
He's like, no, I'm not.
I'm gonna keep my solitaire.
There we go.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep my ESPN app so I can make sure I got the scores and can catch the games, and I'll probably keep my bank app.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
So I can do without the rest of them. They can go away. I need to keep solitaire though, because that's my bedtime. You know, I got to get a couple games in.
There we go.
Me and my wife.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, that's the quick hitters right there. But I do want to talk about this Knoxville regional before we get out of here. And I'd like to remind everybody again, if you want to chime in, feel free to shoot a message across. There's been a couple messages come in. Thomas Hinkle says over under 4.5 wins this season. He does this every week. He wants to inject football into.
We're not there yet.
Everything.
Although it's on the horizon.
He wants somebody to say under to agree with him. And we're going to keep saying over because we're hoping they do better. And then Gatlin Stillman chimed in saying, gosh, Hoffpauir, not the calm guy.
100%. Yeah, knows him all.
Yeah, you my boy, man. You can't say that on here.
Yeah. But if anybody wants to do that, they can chime in like these guys have done. I guess that's on Twitter how it's popping up. Gatlin came through on Facebook, and if you want to chime in and have your voice heard, you can do that on the Twitter space. But let's talk about this regional real quick. Baseball, of course, we ended the season 43-20, 20-10. I don't think anybody saw that. At one point, off the top of my head, I want to say we're 21-15, 21-16. I wasn't sure if we were going to make 30 wins, right? And then reeled off just a ton of victories in a row.
Yep.
And made it all the way to a regional final at the number 1 seed. So that's quite the accomplishment. In that Tennessee regional, it was Tennessee is the 1, Southern Miss is the 2, Indiana the 3, Northern Kentucky is the 4. Game 1 versus Indiana lost 10-4. Just got behind early and couldn't really ever get back in it. Looked like we might have had some jitters, which I guess you would expect out of a bunch of guys that hadn't been there, right? Credit to Indiana. Starter Ty Bothwell looked great. Hitting wise, D-Mac had 2 hits. Wilkes had 2 hits. Monastery 2 hits and a homer. Russo 2 for 4 with a double. Pitching wise, Billy Oldham didn't have it. It's towards the end of the year. I don't know. Maybe that's an innings thing. Towards the end of the year, the velocity seemed to be there for me, but did not look like his normal self as far as that midpoint of the season.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is Sibley did finish it off, which proved to be some crucial innings that he ate up right there. He goes 5 1/3 to finish that game out. So we got through a loss with only using 2 pitchers. So what were you guys' thoughts about that? Josh, I guess we'll start off with you. It was weird that Oldham got hit like he did, but Sibley going the rest of the way surely helped out.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't have his best outing. I think that's safe to say, and he would agree with that as well. And that's kind of what baseball is. You're not always going to be really good. Sometimes, things aren't going to go your way. I just thought he didn't have his best stuff, but it's all right.
Yeah.
They battled through
That's
it.
Baseball.
Back. That's baseball at the end of the day. Jared will tell you, it's sometimes it don't go your way. And I think that was unfortunately one of those days that he just didn't have a great day. And I'm glad he's coming back next year, to be honest with you. So it's all right. I hope he's in the same spot again. And I bet you he'll have a better grasp of what he's getting into,
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is you hit on it, Jason, that a lot of guys haven't been in that spot. Not saying he hasn't, but it's new to a lot of guys. It's late in the year with arms. Everybody's tired, everybody's fatigued, and when you're not used to being in that spot or you've never been in that spot, you really don't know how things go and how you're supposed to do, and you try to be too perfect instead of just kind of doing what you've done all year. And it's just obviously at Tennessee too, which is a place in itself that's tough to play at. And but I think for me it's a growing point for them, and I think next time they're in it, like Josh said, it'll be a lot more comfort there and probably be a better outcome.
No doubt.
Yep.
That takes us to game 2. Pilo, you want to tell us what happened there?
Speaking of better outcome, Northern Kentucky obviously won this game 6-0, scoreless through 3 innings. Gillespie gets loose and homers to left center with a 2-run blast. USM adds 3 in the 6th on a Monastir double, and 1 in the 7th with that Braden Luke single. And by the way, Nico Mazza went the distance on a 120-pitch 2-hit shutout. He goes 9 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. Absolutely masterful. Hitting on the day, Eagles had 8 hits. D-Mac goes 1 for 4 with 2 runs and a double. Slade extends that streak, goes 1 for 3 with an RBI. Gillespie again 3 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs, just energy in the lineup, hits the bomb. Nicky Ballgame goes 1 for 2 with a double, a run, and an RBI. And again, Braden Luke had those 2 RBIs. Thoughts on Mazza and getting the bounce back win?
Yeah, man.
Mazza. An outing. What a great time to have a great outing.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. I mean, set you up for game 3 with some hope, and I mean, heck, I don't know that there's a word for it. I think if anybody would have told us he got through 7, we would have been super thrilled. He throws a CG,
sure.
Whatever it was.
I think I saw somebody say like it was his best outing of the year when we needed it the most, and like that's a perfect.
Hell yeah, it was his best outing.
Especially in that spot.
You throw 9 innings and give up 0 runs. That's pretty damn good, by the way.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially in that situation, and hats off to the hitters as well. I mean, get some comfort there. Lets him kind of go to work, and it was. Great game for us.
For sure.
Yeah, Mazza set the table, and the hitters really showed up. Can we talk about how hard Davis Gillespie hits the baseball real quick?
He's a big, strong kid.
You guys are both awesome hitters. I mean, it's just something about he's just so stable.
Yeah.
He's said those tree trunks for legs, and he's a redshirt freshman. And man, I don't know what the over-under total. Like, if I had to put an over-under total on maybe like home runs that he might hit next year for Southern Miss, I don't know, man. I might set it at like 18 because I just think he's got all the ability in the world to.
I'll tell you one thing he did this year. He struggled a little bit early. He got off to a slow start, was kind of in and out of the lineup, and once he kind of settled in, he really started using the whole field. If you watch, he was really driving balls to the right side, driving some balls in the gap to the right side. And that's when guys are good. Like Wilkes, I'll use a perfect example. For probably 3 years, he was a big pull guy that was trying to hit homers. And if you notice in the second half of the year, the last hitting streak, basically, he really took on a different approach. His home run numbers were down, but you saw the average climbing every time out and the strike zone discipline. Like he was spraying balls the other way. They were all trying to shift him, and they're all playing the shift. Well, guess what? By the end of the year, they were no longer playing the shift. Right. They were playing straight up baseball with him, and which is, and then you look up and he's cut down on the strikeouts. He's spraying the ball around all over the place. I mean, he's hitting homers, oppo, and he became a really good hitter. And I think Gillespie kind of took on that same role. I mean, he's a big, strong, physical kid that throughout his career, he's going to continue to get better. And you're going to see him drive ball. When guys are really strong and really good hitters, they hit the ball out of the park the other way. That's when you have juice. Like those are power. All of us, I shouldn't say all of us, but a lot of guys can take one and get
not all of us
and hit a pull side home run. Really. I mean, hell, I can. I'm not even a good hitter, but I could hit one on the pull side. But the guys that are really good and really strong and really power hitters, per se, those are the guys that can really drive a ball out of the park the other way. And Gillespie has that potential to do that.
Sure. Game 3 versus Indiana, won this one 15-3. I mean, fight at the bat rack, right? And another great pitching performance, this time from closer Colby Allen, as he got the start. We got the Golden Eagle offense 5 in the first, 6 in the third, 4 in the fourth. You had to be thinking to yourself at some point, like, did we pull Colby? Right?
Yeah, you and I were actually talking about it. We watched the game together.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you were telling me you ride him as long as you can. I looked at my phone and Sutton's texting me. He's like, ride him. All right. Well, everybody can't be wrong, but it would have at least gone through my mind. Oh, it's like when it's like 11-0.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest
Surely we
thing,
can't give that up, right?
biggest thing is look, man, when you go out, especially as a starter, I mean, your Max Efron ball is you've spent your time getting loose before the game and all that. You've actually thrown a pretty good amount of pitches, and at that point you take him out, and then you bring him back in, and he's still not going to be 100% on the next day or whenever your next game is, So I was with him, and I completely agree with Oz at that point. Heck, see if he can get you 6 or 7. Use 1 or 2 guys in a pin, and that way your true pin guys on the back end the next day only have an inning under their belt instead of 3 or 4 with a full starting procedure before the game and all that stuff. So I think it was the right call. I mean, the biggest thing is Oz is making those calls, and you gotta agree with him.
Yep, no doubt. So Allen goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 8 Ks, 97 pitches. And then Boswell finishes it out on his last 2 innings. Hitting wise, 16 hits on the day. So, fire Creel, right? You're still doing that?
Yeah. I know, right?
Ozzie Pratt, 4 for 6, 2 runs, 3 RBIs, double. He has really stepped into that role that
Can
Dustin
find a
Dickerson
gap
set
with
up
the best of them.
so well. Yeah. Wilkes, 3 for 5. Like Coach said, I mean, just falling in love with that left center gap. 3 runs, 3 RBIs. He hit a double. Gillespie, 3 for 6, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. He hit a double. Russo, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs. He hit a double. Braden Luke, 2 for 5, 2 RBIs, double. And Braden hadn't started all year, I don't think. I mean, a couple games, maybe. And then all of a sudden he finds himself
He had 3 or 4
in the starting lineup and steps right in there. He had that pinch hit in the I think it was in the championship game of the conference tournament, and it just started hitting.
First pitch, too.
So yeah, it was an elimination game. Had to have it. Just lost to Indiana on Friday to open the tournament. Good approach from the Eagles all day, and just crushed it. Also watched the ball, right? Sat on a lot of pitches. 10 walks for the Golden Eagle offense on the day. So that was good, and that takes us to game 4. Pilo, you want to do this one?
Oh yeah, sure. So obviously, I ended the season with this game, losing to Tennessee 12-3. UTK, what is that?
It's University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Okay, I like that. Scored 1 in the first, or I'm sorry, 1 in the second. USM responds with 1 in the third. Tennessee goes with 1 in the 5th, and USM responds with 2 in the bottom of the 5th. And then they kind of blow it open and started pouring them all, and they get 4 in the 6th, 3 in the 7th, and 3 in the 9th. JB Middleton started the game, goes 3 in the 3rd, gives up 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, and 4 Ks. Followed up by Best, Ock, Flowers, Payne, Meeks, and Adams all through after that. Hung in there for a while, just, Tennessee started kind of doing what they've done all season, just started cranking home runs. Then obviously with the balk and that happening and getting a redo and yeah, that happens. Hitting wise for the Eagles, D-Mac goes 2 for 4. Gillespie goes 2 for 4. 7 hits on the day. Some balls were hit extremely hard, just right at people. Not enough, but obviously a great effort. It was, I personally, for me, and then we'll get to you guys on the thoughts, but like just the way it ended with the camera on Wilkes a lot, obviously, and that streak, him getting that hit late, continuing it, and then it was emotional, but also, man, just incredible season to kind of reflect on. I mean, we said it on here. I remember, like Jason said, where we were in the season, we threw out the word rebuilding. It's like we didn't know what was going, and then from there to the end of where we to this game, and just an incredible run. So, what you guys thought?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, man. It was, I think, when we hit the 2-out double there to go up 3-2, and was it 4th, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of felt like we were. You never know, kind of the old
got a shot.
Pete Taylor, Pete Taylor Park magic, and feel like he had a chance, and then they answered with the big inning right behind it, and you just kind of that gas tank was just on empty at that point, you know, and that's where
Sure.
I think that's where the depth comes in and things like that on the mound and obviously having to play the extra game, you know, and things like that. But I mean, not to mention against the number one team in the country and at their place, it's a tough spot. You know, anytime you're playing catch up with them as far as having to beat them twice on the last day, it's difficult, you know. But you know, for me, I couldn't be any more proud of the guys. I thought they battled, and it was fun to watch the streak. When they got really hot, you could kind of see everybody gel, and it goes back to Oz, man. Tip your hat to him, because early in the year, you know, you kind of we start questioning everything. Are we, you know, are the guys doing this? Is the program going this way? What's going on here? And then all of a sudden, you know, they get hot and they start playing really well, and you can kind of see them playing for each other. And you know, I think all that comes from the top. I really do. And you gotta, as a coach, it's your job to mesh all that. And he did a great job with it. And man, you know, in 40 plus wins his first year and have an opportunity to put yourself in position to win one of the toughest regionals there is, man. It's a proud moment. Like you said, Wilkes too, man. Holy cow. What a back end of the year for him, huh? Wow. He'll be missed. That's for sure.
No doubt.
I think if I'm Wilkes, I'm still telling people my streak's still going.
Yeah, I was about to say,
never ended.
It definitely is.
Right,
man.
It is. It'll never
keep
end.
hitting.
It'll never end.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was pretty impressive what he did on the back half, though.
Yeah, and especially for, you know, I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but, you know, a power hitter at that, you know, a big power guy who's you know, not necessarily
He's supposed to have offers.
That's right. Yeah, he's supposed to have over games with a bunch of strikeouts. And man, what was it? What was the final number? 36.
36.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
36, second in program history.
Yeah.
Yep.
Behind Todd Nace, 1990, 41 games. Is that right?
That's right.
It's a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
but you know,
Tennessee's pretty good, by the way.
yes, they hit monster bombs. That's a little bitty part,
It's
but it didn't
crazy,
matter.
They
Some
were a
of
lot
those
of the
guys-
reason that we lost.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They're not bad.
Yeah. Hey, so two supers in a row, and then we made it to a regional finals and a quote unquote rebuild. That's a program, bro.
That's
Right?
it.
And there's a couple more things, and we will get out of here. Like to remind everybody that Mugshots has game day pictures of Miller Lite, Bud Light, Michelob Ultra, Yingling, and Sam Adams seasonal shareable starters for the table. Happy hour deals 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock Monday through Friday. Half off domestic well drinks and domestic draft, and $3 snacks. And Mugshots has been voted the best burger in Mississippi 16 years in a row. So go check them out. Other teams in the Sun Belt Conference that were also in regionals. Louisiana Lafayette was in the Texas A&M regional. I think all the teams went to at least the final. Is that right?
4 went to the regional finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Clemson regional, Coastal Carolina made some noise over there. And in the North Carolina State regional, James Madison did the same. So as a conference, I mean, this is the only time I've really ever been able to root for a conference. I was never on board with Conference USA. Never going to pull from Memphis a day in my life. I hate Louisville. You know, Cincinnati sucks. Tulane, give me a break. But these guys outside of Georgia Southern really don't have any problems with anybody. So I'm kind of pulling for all these guys, and it's the first time I've ever gotten to do it. So
It is a weird
so
feeling.
I like it. Yeah. I like to before we get to shout outs, again, To the Top Talk was officially nominated and placed on the ballot for Best of the Pine Belt 2024 Best Podcast. Voting begins on July 1st and goes through July 21st. You can vote once per day for your favorites. So go and do that. And that's all I got, fellas. This is where we do shout outs. So I guess we'll Pilo, you want to start off with you doing
me. No, we're not.
Okay, well, Jarrett, you want to kick us off? Any shout outs that you would like to give on your way out the door here? Maybe even just a shout out to like the Golden Eagle faithful, just for, thanking them for all they did or supporting you.
I think, yeah, absolutely. Especially, I mean, what a great time for it. Fans are unbelievable. Thank you guys for that, and keep it coming, man. Let's keep this thing rolling.
No doubt. Josh?
I'm with you. Hey, I'm on board. Eagle fan, baby. Bleed black and gold.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Pops.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. See?
Yeah.
That was a great That was a great shout out you could have done, Pilo. If you'd been paying attention earlier in the episode.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any now, Pilo?
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little birthday music.
Yes.
No, I just wanted to thank Jarrett and Josh both for coming on, man. You guys were awesome, and it is. I kind of have to pinch myself sometimes, getting to do what we do and have literally legends on here, and getting to hear stories of, and it's awesome. So I appreciate you guys for being willing to kind of jump on and
Anytime,
talk
man.
Southern Miss.
Yep, absolutely.
No doubt, and I will give a couple shout outs myself. Well, I'd like to give a shout out to you guys, of course, but also JC Sanner for jumping on and giving us a little perspective on Coach. And a very special shout out to Coach Scott Berry. So listen to this. So I'm at the Little League field the other night, and I see Coach Berry. He's there watching some baseball. Shocker. And he comes up to me because I had some health problems a couple of years back. And he comes up, and first of all, he knows my name. I don't even know how, okay? But he comes up, and we're talking, and I was like, what are you doing here? And he's watching grandkids or whatever it was. And he said, hey, look, you had some health problems a couple of years back. How's that going? And just talk to me about that just for a second, and that's the kind of guy he is, and that's the kind of guy that the Southern Miss just keeps rolling out. And it's a special place. So I really appreciated Coach Berry just taking the time to kind of make my day and do that. So that was awesome. That's my shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
no doubt. Getting caught up, getting choked up. Anyway, this episode was brought to you by Mugshots Grill and Bar, where they're always having a good time. Happy hour specials daily, and for a limited time, they're bringing back some of their oldies but goodies. So check them out soon. Go see our good friends at Mugshots in Hattiesburg today. Mugshots, delivering craveable food and personalized hospitality to friends and family in a place obsessed with sports. Thanks for listening in today or watching in today or however you did it. Whatever day you might have listened, whichever platform you chose to listen in on. Remember, you can follow me at Bumper J. Bailey and Patrick at P. Lowry. I'm sure you can follow the Hoffpauirs. Josh, what's your Twitter handle?
Well, I don't really know.
Jarrett?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, there you go. You can go to Twitter and you can type in how many Hoffpauirs can there be. You can go in and you can find the Hoffpauirs on Twitter and all the social. You can follow us on all the
Facebook guy.
There we go.
Facebook guy. There you go. Follow us on all the socials at To The Top Talk, and don't forget about the mailbag, tothetoptalk@gmail.com. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell somebody to the top today. And as always, Southern Miss
To the top.
To the top.
Thank you guys, Jason. Appreciate you guys today.
Thank you. I enjoyed it, man.
Thank you.
Nitro, let's go. Why you mad?
Why you mad?
I could play for Alabama.